Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're going to review Green Hell VR, a game released on the Steam store June 9th, 2022 by developer Incubo, who also did the Layers of Fear VR port. Green Hell VR normally retails for $24.99. I did receive a free Steam key through the Steam Creator Connect program to review this game, and I tested it out on the Meta Quest 3 using link cable. However, I did a early gameplay impressions back in 2022 to review this game, so I fulfilled my obligations, but I've seen that Green Hell VR currently has a mixed review status, which was puzzling to me because I had a great impression of the game. I thought this game was great. So I wanted to play the game to completion to see if there were any issues with the game. Maybe there was something I missed, but I wanted to fully play the game, fully have the Green Hell experience. And after about 50 total hours experience with Green Hell VR, with about 45 hours in PCVR and about 5 hours on the Quest standalone version, I can say that Green Hell VR, specifically PCVR, is one of the top 10 PCVR games of all time. By the way, it's 4th of July, so happy 4th of July to all of y'all. If you hear explosions in the background, that's all the fireworks going off around me. Anyways, Green Hell PCVR is criminally underrated on Steam. It has a lot of negative reviews. Like I said, it's on a mixed review status currently. A lot of people are upset because it stopped getting updates back in 2022, but I will say to all of them, this is a complete game. These are not the same developers as the non-VR version. Yeah, I wish it did have the Spirits of Amazonia update, and I wish it had all the new updates as well, but that's not the case. This game didn't sell well. Unfortunately, a lot of PC VR gamers just don't understand that Steam VR currently is not a good marketplace for developers. Most developers do not make money making PC VR games. That's why most developers are not developing for PC VR. That's why you have Quest with a lot of games being released there, and then you have Steam where there's just a lot of indie developers, a lot of solo developers, but very few PC VR developers are making a profit, turning a profit. That's the whole point of running a business, and you can't just keep updating a game when you're losing money, and a lot of PC VR gamers just do not get that. I will admit that it is a valid criticism if you bought this game expecting it to have online multiplayer co-op, because that was promised by the developers and they failed to deliver. And if you're upset for that reason, I totally get it, and that's a legitimate criticism. At the end of the day, I'm not here to make excuses for the developer. Like I said, I already fulfilled my obligations. I don't need to review this game, but I decided that I wanted to do a full review of this game because I do think it is a great game, and after playing it for about 50 hours, my opinion is even stronger. It is a great game. It is one of the 10 best PC VR games, and I'm here to talk about why I think it's a great game. First of all, what makes this a great game is that it has a very fun gameplay loop. It's challenging, but it's a fair challenge, and this is one of those games where as you gain game knowledge, your chances of survival increase exponentially. I strongly recommend playing this game on the Welcome to the Jungle recommended difficulty if you're new to survival games. However, if you're more of a seasoned veteran, then definitely go up to the King of the Jungle difficulty, and I chose that after beating the game story mode and Welcome to the Jungle, and then I went survival mode with King of the Jungle, and now that I had more knowledge, that was more of the challenge that I wanted. As a new player and as one that may die early in the game, you might be tempted to choose an easier difficulty, go tourist mode, or walk in the park, but I would strongly advise against that. Again, this is one of those games where knowledge is power. It definitely hurts to lose progress in this game, and I lost progress several times when I died in this game and I had to start from an earlier save. But each time I died, I learned something, and that gave me the knowledge in order to overcome whatever happened the next time and how to be prepared. This game is all about just being prepared for all the things that happen in this game, whether you get a spider bite, whether you run into an anthill, whether you go against puma or a caiman or other tribesmen that you run into. With each bad event that happens in this game, you learn and you adapt and you survive. You no longer panic. You know exactly what to do in each situation, and you know when you need to stop, set up camp, rest. You know when to cook. You know what materials that you need to go forward, and you know when to settle down and get some rest as well. And probably the star of this game is the lush jungle. The jungle is scenic, it's beautiful, it's varied, it's absolutely huge. You can very easily get lost if you're not tracking which direction you're going and what your coordinates are. I can't tell you the amount of times that I thought I was going a certain direction and I ended up just doing a full circle right back to where I started, because the jungle is very dense and you know there's lots of different elevations and obstacles and so many hidden paths, and it's just very easy to get lost. So very easy. And the jungle is alive. There's a lot of plants to recognize, so many different creatures, whether they're large beasts or insects or fish or birds, and you have to recognize the dangers but also the things that are beneficial for you. This game rewards you for being observant. You have to keep track of your sanity, your thirst, your hunger, your stamina, and you need your proteins and you need your fatty foods as well. You have to recognize what kind of mushrooms you're able to eat and which ones to avoid, what you can eat cooked and what you can eat raw. And then there's the time of day. Obviously you want to go out while there's still light out, and you have to make camp before it gets dark. If you can't see the danger, you cannot avoid it, and that's a big risk if you go out at night. Then there's the rainy season and the dry season, and each season has a different challenge. So you not only have to recognize the flora and the fauna in this game, but you also have to become familiar with the jungle. Where's the nearest source of water? Where are the materials that I need? Where are the stones? You know, where's the type of wood that I need? Where's the type of bamboo that I need? Where can I get fresh water? How do I get fresh water? So you have to learn how to overcome these challenges, and then it becomes a mental game of where can I go next? How do I set up camp? What materials do I need to get to that camp and still have a great chance for survival? Then there's all the tools that you're able to craft, along with the different types of structures that you're able to build. I don't think you've played this game until you've made a mud shower. During the dry season, you can get very dirty, which leads to a lot of problems, so you need that shower in order to do well during the dry season. But there's so many tools and weapons in this game, I can't possibly mention them all, but you have your axes, your bow and arrows, your spears, your bidons. There's just so much stuff you can craft in this game. I can't possibly name all the tools and structures you can build, but I will say the building here is modular, so you're able to build basically the jungle house of your dreams. So besides the great gameplay loop and the lush jungle to explore and all the stuff you can craft and all the fun survival elements in this game, the other reason to play this game, to buy this game, is because it has a great story. Now I want to make this perfectly clear. This is a complete game. No, it doesn't have all the updates of the non-VR version. It doesn't have the spirits of Amazonia, but it is a complete game and it has a great story. I'm not going to spoil it, so I'm not going to mention anything about it, but I will say that I love the story. This is a great game. I enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. It's in my top 10 VR games of all time, and if I had to rate it, I would give it an excellent 8.5 out of 10. It is, in my opinion, the best survival game in VR, bar none. And if you've only played the Quest version, I would highly recommend that you play the PCVR version instead. It has a lot more depth than the Quest version, even though the Quest version has received updates and I believe it's been promised online co-op multiplayer. It's still not as good as the PCVR version. It's a very simplified version. Not that the Quest version is bad. I think it's a good version for the Quest, and it has some improvements on the PCVR version. Some of the crafting is more immersive, for example, but it's just not as good as the PCVR, and that's why I chose to play about 45 hours on PCVR versus only playing about 5 on the Quest version. There's a huge step down from PCVR. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.